Shou can help reverse gray hair, and also it can help regrow your hair. Now, there's been a lot of human clinical studies that have been published showing that 60% of people who take Shou experience some hair regrowth after 3 months. So it's very promising. I personally take Shou as part of my hair regimen, and I really do believe that it helps encourage hair regrowth and also maintain hair color. I have very little, if none, gray hairs. So for some, gray hair can be a sign of character or give a distinguished appearance. For others, gray hair can be an unwanted daily reminder of advanced age. Conventional mainstream approaches to restoring hair's natural color are often just dyes or other synthetic methods of covering up the gray. The Chinese medicine offers an alternative that doesn't cover up signs of aging but actually gets to the root of the issue and can turn back the clock. Shou, pronounced Shou, is a tuberous plant that's medicinal quality is found in its root. It is native to China and also found in Japan and Taiwan. The herb, sometimes referred to as fo tea, or by its Latin name, Polygonum multiflorum, is revered in Chinese medicine for its anti-aging and longevity-promoting effects. Shou means black-haired Mr. He, and is named after an elderly Chinese man who reportedly took the herb to restore his youth and vitality and saw the return of his black hair. The capacity to restore a person's natural hair color is one of its most famous attributes. Hair color is produced by tiny hair pigment cells within hair follicles called melanocytes. Melanocytes manufacture a pigment called melanin that gives hair its color. The more melanin that is present, the darker the hair color. When the activity of these melanocytes declines, they stop making these pigments, resulting in gray hair. When the activity or hydrogen peroxide is produced naturally in the body, but when there is an excessive buildup, it interferes with melanin production. Most people are familiar with hydrogen peroxide being used externally on hair to lighten its appearance. Essentially, this is what is happening internally, at the cellular level when hair turns gray. The body is lacking an ability to effectively break down and clear out excess hydrogen peroxide that is produced as a byproduct of the body's metabolic processes. Catalase is an enzyme produced by the body that works to break down and clear out excess hydrogen peroxide. As the body's production of catalase declines, less hydrogen peroxide is cleared out of the body. Melanin production is reduced, and hair turns gray. Together with catalase, another free radical scavenging enzyme present in the body is superoxide dismutase, or SOD for short. And you've probably heard of that before. SOD, or superoxide dismutase, is excellent at protecting cells against lipid peroxidation and DNA damage. SOD levels in your body can potentially be raised by taking Shou, perhaps indirectly through the herb's effect on the liver and kidneys. Traditional Chinese medicine states that a person's hair is a reflection of the strength of the kidneys. It is believed that weak kidney and liver blood are the underlying causes for gray hair and other signs of premature aging. Shou works on the liver and the kidneys to improve the quality of red blood cells and reduce the buildup of hepatic liver fat. This in turn stimulates blood circulation in the scalp, where nutrient delivery is improved, nourishing hair follicles and promoting the production of melanin. Potency and quality are keys when consuming Shou. It should have been growing for at least 4 years, and it needs to be properly prepared by a qualified herbalist to experience the full tonic effects. This is done by slicing the root shortly after harvesting and then boiling it in a soup of black beans. It can then be made into a powder suitable for mixing in smoothies, or it can also be taken in capsule or tincture form. And this was an article written by Ron T. Garden, The Ancient Wisdom of the Chinese Tonic Herbs. That's a resource where William Rudolph is the one who actually wrote this. So, to get a really high potency Shou, I would recommend the company Dragon Herbs. And they have some different formulations with Shou in it. If you want to take one specifically for hair and nails, there's that formula, and they put also some other Chinese herbs in there that are really good for your hair and your nails. Or you can just take the original Shou formulation, and it's one of the most potent Shou products out on the market. It's a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it. And I personally take it every day, and I have to admit, my hair just continues to grow, and I don't have any gray hair. And if anything, I think it's also made my hair somewhat darker and just a lot richer in its natural color. And even some people have commented about that, about my hair being darker and, you know, just more color and whatnot. And that's pretty important, especially if you have genetic baldness, because when you're balding, usually your hair starts to turn gray or get lighter. So if you can maintain that darkness, you know, it'll help to kind of fill in those spots that kind of look like they're balding. So if you're interested in, you know, reversing gray hair or maintaining the color that you do have, preventing gray hair, and also encouraging hair regrowth, check out Shou. And by the way, this is just tip of the iceberg of what Shou can do for you. There's a lot of information about Shou. I would recommend going to Dragon Herbs and reading a whole article about Shou, because it's really amazing in what it can do for you. It's an amazing anti-aging herb, and I highly recommend it. So good luck reversing your gray hair. And one other tip that I have before I leave here is another great food that has been said to help reverse gray hair is blackstrap molasses. And blackstrap molasses is really rich in copper. And I believe that copper helps to also manufacture a pigment called melanin. So sometimes when people's copper levels are really low, they can run into problems with their hair turning more gray and stuff. And so it's also a good idea to make sure that you're getting copper if you're also taking zinc, because Shou is extremely rich in zinc, and so is oysters. So if you're taking these herbs that are rich in zinc like Shou, and you're eating foods that are rich in zinc, it may be a good idea also to include some blackstrap molasses in there so you can kind of balance it out with naturally occurring copper. I always like to get my nutrients from my foods instead of always relying on synthetic vitamins and supplements, just because the body can absorb them better. These nutrients in our food is recognized by the body, so it's more effective, more potent, and that's just the way I roll. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please like, favorite, and subscribe.